All right, let's look at this example. Tan theta is -1/4 and theta is in quadrant 2. Find sine of 2 theta. All right, so sine of 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta. So we've got to figure out what sine and cosine of theta are. So let's see. I'm going to draw a tangent over here into quadrant 2. So here's my angle. Let's see. Theta is actually this angle, but this is the reference angle here. So let's see. The tangent is opposite over adjacent. So the 4 is going to be negative, the 1's positive. And the hypotenuse there by the Pythagorean theorem is going to be square root of 17. All right, so sine theta, actually I'll write this out. Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. So sine 2 theta is 2 times 1 over root 17 times -4 over root 17. So that just gives me -8 over 17. All right, that's the last example that I have here. I actually want to check this, but checking it on the calculator for this problem winds up being about as much work, if not more, than checking than just doing the problem itself. So let's look at this and see why. Okay, if we just take the inverse tan of theta, this is going to give me something in quadrant 4. And sure enough, if I stick it in my calculator and do inverse tan of -1/4, it gives me negative 14.036 degrees. So that's over here in quadrant 4. But what we wanted was the angle in quadrant 2. And it makes sense that quadrant 2 would be negative because ASTC in this quadrant and this quadrant, these are the ones where tangent is negative. So what I need is the angle that has the same reference angle as this up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 180 minus the 14.036. Now 14.036, we're thinking of it as an angular distance. So I'm going to do 180 minus the 14. So in other words, plus the answer, since the answer was negative. When I do that, I get like 165.9. So I've got that in here. Now what I'm going to do is double it and take the sign. So I've got 165.9 times 2 gives me an angle of 331.9. And if I take the sine of that, that gives me this number here. Okay, that should be -8/17. So the moment of truth here, I'll put in -8/17. Does this give me the same thing? Sure enough, it does. So checking this one because of the quadrants and everything was a bit of a pain, but we can still do it, and we get that that it does work out. All right, that's I believe that is it for this section.